maybe it's just me, but I don't think having your hair and makeup done should be a requirement for your spouse to be faithful.
Whoa. One thing she fails to realize is that men are visual creatures. So the second you stop taking care of yourself and say you start gaining weight or chopping off your hair, which are two things that a lot of married women do during the first few years of marriage, your husband's just going to lose attraction for you. He's not going to want to have sex with you. If you start doing things that are just kind of gross in front of him and not very feminine, he's going to get turned off, right? Because we are visual creatures, period. Okay?
I'm sorry, my voice is all crazy. I'm sick right now. I know often we hear, like, will she let herself go? But, loves, like, the grass is greener where you water it.
What?
My ex-husband said that, too. Like, you know, the girl he had an affair with, he was like, well, she always had time for me. She always answered the phone when I called. She was, you know, my companion when you weren't. And it's like, bro.
Oh, no, let me stop her real quick. Yeah, first, before I forget anything, yeah, don't call your man bro. Yeah, I don't jive with that. FYI, just a quick pickup lesson, dating lesson is the chick ever calls you, if say you're romantically interested in her or you're dating her and she calls you bro, dude, anything like that, hey, stop that right there. Don't talk to me like that. Like, don't talk to me like, you know, like some AFC. Don't address me like that. You either call me Matt or babe or, you know, sir. I don't address me as bro or anything disrespectful like that. That's beta language. That's, you know, she's essentially trying to betatize you and emasculate you. So guys, don't let her call you that. Secondly, she's talking about how her husband had an affair apparently with some woman, probably younger, who paid attention to him, who listened to him, who admired him, who respected him. Hey, I'm not saying cheating is right. It's totally wrong. But these are things that you need to do for your man if you don't want him to wander. Ladies, is, you know, I see too many women, and I've been in these type of relationships, right? Where the woman just doesn't appreciate her man. And he's a high value dude. He brings a lot to the table, right? And he's a good guy. And it's like, you have to acknowledge that, ladies. Guys want to hear that stuff, right? I mean, you have to acknowledge that you appreciate the value he brings to the table, and not just brush it under the table or dismiss it and be all dismissive about his accomplishments, because that's really hard for guys. And you know, if you really want to get a guy's attention, you praise him for those things. And obviously the other girl did when she wasn't willing to, and she's making the excuse that she didn't have time after, you know, like kids and career. No, I mean, it's not like this stuff takes hours per day. I mean, these are just little acknowledgments that you have to make every once in a while towards your man, so he knows that he's appreciated. Because if he feels like he's not, and he feels like he's putting in a lot of work, never gets any recognition for it, you know, it's just, he's going to stop doing it. He's going to look elsewhere, right? It's like being at a job and you're like doing all of the heavy lifting, and you're, you know, carrying the whole company practically, and you're responsible for all the profit and sales and all this, but you're never recognized. You just be like, screw this. Why even bother? I'll go somewhere else where I am appreciated.
I was her when we started dating, but then I had your babies.
Mm-hmm.
And between conference calls, I was breastfeeding and pumping, and
it doesn't take much to acknowledge your man, right? You could be breastfeeding and look over at him and be like, hey, babe, get his attention, and be like, I just want to let you know you're the man. I'm so attracted to you, right? You just let him know little things. It doesn't take much. I mean, guys are pretty easily satisfied, right? You don't need to buy us gifts or anything. Just you just have to let us know that you appreciate the value that we bring to the table.
I would have loved the energy that you gave her. I would have loved for you to say, babe, I know you've been working really hard. Like, I got us a sitter tonight. I want you to go get dressed up and let's go buy you new clothes because I know all of them are, breast milk stained, and I want to take you out on a date. Like, I would have loved that. I would have loved to have the time and the space to do my hair and do my makeup, but I didn't because I was doing it all. I was working full time. And
how come she has the time to do these TikToks, man? Right? So you got the time to do these TikToks, right? You have time to rant on social media. You didn't have time to just tell your husband that you appreciate him or you value him.
I was taking care of our babies and I was trying to keep the house clean, and I just thought that I'd have the space in our marriage to have it not be perfect all the time.
I don't like excuses. I mean, I can understand, like, I run a tight ship in my own relationship. Sometimes I push it to the edge with my girl, but I wouldn't put up with these excuses. I would be like, okay, why can't you make time for this, right? It's like, yeah, instead of sitting here crying about all the things like, oh, poor me, how about, okay, yeah, poor me, but I could do better. We can do better. Let's do this together, right? No, she's a quitter, essentially. Sounds like she's just quitting. She's a quitter, and probably her husband might have recognized that, because if she was like, oh, hey, I'm taking care of the kids and breastfeeding and, beyond all that, but I want to make time for us, and I want to let you know that, hey, you're valued, and I want to feel valued, and, you got to work together. You can't just be like me.
Humans can't be perfect all the time, but I hope I can find somebody who loves me when I do look without makeup, or I am having a bad day, or I'm not in the best mood. And I think that that's a weird expectation that we have on women, is like,
oh God,
she let herself go. Like, go where?
There are way more expectations on men these days than there are women. Women have a gravy train. Women have it easy these days compared to men. Give me a break.
Flip that around and say, like, you let her go. You let her go.
Or you let him go. You could think of it that way. I mean, this chick's like totally feeling sorry for herself, and I'm not going to play the violin for her.
That girl in the beginning who you text her all the time and called her beautiful and took her out, and like, you let her go. And you moved on to somebody else, and it's not fair.
As I always say, blame yourself first. Here we go.
The absolute nerve of men on dating apps looking for a woman who is chill. And like my age, I'm 41 and like a little bit older. Looking for a woman, like, I'm just looking for somebody laid back. I just want somebody that can like go with the flow and see what happens. What's happening? You're 46. What's happening is your doctor is probably badgering you to start scheduling your first colonoscopy, and you've got a hairline that's running away from your face like Andy Dufresne trying to escape Shawshank.
Ditto.
So I'd get on it if I were you, or the next woman in your bedroom is going to be your home health nurse.
Ditto. Everything she's saying is a self-projection. It applies to you too. Miss Tattoos on both sleeves, as she sits here tries to shame men who are her age. I mean, she's sitting here like she's, 18-year-old working at a record store in the 80s with these tats and talking about how, oh yeah, you're a 46-year-old guy, Mr. I want to take it slow and see where things go. That's exactly what these chicks were saying 20 years ago. That's exactly what you were telling these dudes. So all they're doing is telling you the same thing 20 years later, because now they have the power and you don't. But back when you had the power, that's exactly what you were saying to them. So you have to appreciate the level of hypocrisy when it comes to older, middle-aged, post-menopausal women like this, right? I don't know if she's post-menopausal yet, but, older women like this that want to shame men because they don't want to pull the trigger on her anymore, right? It's like, this question is more applicable to you as a female. It's like, why did not you pull the trigger 20 years ago in the late 90s or early 2000s? Why are you still out there, right? What are you doing dating all these random men what have you been doing dating all these random men for the last 2 decades, right? You couldn't find one guy? You're still out there? Did you schedule your colonoscopy with your doctor, right? Did you get your pap smear test this year? I mean, so, you have to appreciate the hypocrisy. All right, one more.
So this is for the dudes from my dating apps that end up texting me or DMing me. Ask me on a date and let's go on it, or don't and stop hitting me up. Because if I wanted to be pen pals with a hot, toxic man, I'm gonna go write a dude in jail. Okay? Thanks.
So she's upset that dudes are hitting her up but not pulling the trigger on these dating apps. The reason why these guys do that, they hit you up and then they stop hitting you up, is usually because they go through more of your photos and then they lose attraction because you probably have like one photo in there, if not 2 photos in there, that really reveal what you look like in person and not that filtered profile photo that you have on your app. So on your profile. So that's usually it. Or, you might have FaceTimed them and then they really saw what you look like in real life. I mean, that's the only reason why a dude's going to lose attraction is physically, right? At least initially. So there's something you're doing to turn these guys off. But again, you'll never see these women put any blame or agency or accountability on themselves. It's always everyone else's fault, which is why they never fix it, they never learn, they never improve, and they just continue to just sit out there on the internet complaining about how hard their lives is. Go kick rocks. I'm gonna wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets, signing out here from my garage with the DeLorean. And don't forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Helps me out a ton when you subscribe. So please make sure you're subscribed to my channel as well, so it helps with the YouTube algorithm. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content that I'm teaching you even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, same exact type of women that myself and my students all over the world are out there cold approaching every single day. And I kid you not, every single day we're making things happen. And I want you to join us. I want you to become one of us. And right now, it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons from me. It's just $1. It's really easy to sign up. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you could get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.